Hey Sheila, this is Jake Theobald. I just wanted to look into the fills issue a little closer that you and I had talked about, the transition between the cyanide and the non cyanide portion of the laboratory. And what I wanted to do was I'm practicing narrating some video of me doing screen recordings and uploading to YouTube. So I thought I would take this opportunity here in support of the problem that I ran into with you to see if I could make this work nicely, for a solution for helping people solve problems. So here we go. I logged into the live fill site. I went into lab 3, which is the cyanide lab. I'm going to jump right to the laboratory exercise portion of the lab. Forgive me, but I'm just kind of blasting through this because I've already done this lab a million times. And I had Dr. Phil Stevens look a little bit at the transition point of the laboratory that we were getting lost in. And I'm kind of hoping that we may have gotten it to a point now where you and I will be able to understand how this lab transitions. So what I'm going to do is quickly blast through this laboratory. So I'm putting the succinate, forgive me if that's not the right way to say that, into the tubes. As you can hear, their sound has been restored to the lab. So there's a recycle sound, and then as well, when we get to the clock part of the lab, you will hear that correctly beeping while we do the laboratory. So I'm adding the buffer solution to the blank tube, and now I will add the 3 milliliters to the experimental tube. Hello, there we go. Recycle that. Get the extract. Oops, missed it. Sorry, just trying to work so fast that I'm not hitting the buttons all right away. So the buffer into the blank. Boom. Alright, now follow the instructions here. I recycled the pipette. Got to turn on I want to adjust the wavelength on the spectrophotometer to 600. Oops. Too much, too little. There we go. Now, I want to calibrate it with no tube using the 0 controls. Up. It's a 0. There's that. Now, second step of calibration is to put the blank tube in the holder. That's that. And now calibrate to 100. That's done. Okay, so now open the holder again. Put the blank tube back. Now add the extract to the experimental tube. Like so. 1 milliliter. Recycle that. Now add the dye. There's that. Now, measure the color of the solution. So I got to put the EXP tube into the spectrophotometer. They want me to hit the absorb button. Take my initial reading, 0.7. Start the clock. You heard it beep already. So every 30 seconds, it's going to beep. So this actually makes the experiment that much easier. I can kind of preload the data field with 0.6 now and just wait for that beep to go off. So 687. 675. Six, 663. And you can see I'm just following the instructions on the bottom. So every 30 seconds, I'm recording the value. Once we get the table full, it's at full. It says after about 3 minutes, click the calc button to graph your data. So as soon as I get all my readings, I'm going to follow these instructions and hit the calc button to move on. So 6.5. Six, 3, 7. Six, 2, 5. Six, 1, 3. And then the final reading, 0 point, and I'm going to wait and see. It might be a 0.5. 0.6. All right. So we're done. So I'll hit the calc button now, like the instructions say. I hit the calc button. You can see the graphs have popped open, and the clock in the background has stopped, and there's new instructions here. So I'm going to read the instructions. The left graph plots your data and performs linear regression. The rate of color change is given in the equation and is entered in the table in the right graph. If you finish both parts of the lab, click the plot button and then click post-lab quiz in the upper menu to display the post-lab quiz. You can click the title bar and drag and drop the pop-up window around the screen. Otherwise, click X in the top right corner of either graph and perform the next part of the lab. So here we are, and it's time for me to click X in the upper right-hand corner of either one of these graphs to do the next part of the lab. So I'll do that. And now it says you finished this part of the experiment, so you will recycle the tube. To begin, click the spectrophotometer holder to open it. So I'll open the spectrophotometer holder, take this EXP tube, drag it to the recycling bin, and a new blank tube shows up. And so now you can tell that I've transitioned on. I'm starting to get into the next part of the program. So I need to get the blank tube out of the picture. Now, click yes to perform the second experiment with the cyanide, or click no to repeat the initial experiment.